Hello everyone, welcome to a new educational video for the Fib-Time, how to estimate a Fib-Time based on Elliott wave patterns, of course, how we can estimate the time required for each wave in an impulse or in a corrective wave such as a zigzag. And of course, when you see an impulse, you would like to see, of course, the first thing as a signal for an impulse is 5 waves towards the upside for your wave 1. And those 5 waves should be perfectly an impulse as well. By all means, the rules of an impulse should apply even on the wave 1. And that the wave 4 do not interfere with your wave 1. And your wave 3 should be longer than your wave 5 and then your wave 1 at least. It can be even shorter than one of them, but it should not or should never be the shortest one. And once you see those rules has been applied, of course, there is many guidelines as well, of course, for the impulses. However, the main rules has been applied and you are detecting here already an impulse. And you can, of course, declare that this is a wave 1. Now, after a wave 1, you would expect, of course, a wave 2 in 3 waves toward the downside. However, besides that, okay, this should be 3 waves toward the downside, and that is some fib level, of course, which it should be estimated. Our subject today is only the fib time. How to estimate the right fib time for a wave 2? In order to get the fib time, you have to, of course, go to trend-based fib time and not confuse with the fib time zone. This is something totally different. This is a repetitive timing zone that it gives you, of course, during the price action. But in order to analyze, of course, or to predict the time required for every wave, you need to go to the trend-based fib time. And then if you have already your wave 1 here, you can simply start by clicking on the start of your wave 1 and then clicking on the end of the wave 1. Now you will see that you can drag this extension, of course, to somewhere else. But actually, all what you have to do when you are looking for a wave 2, all what you have to do is to click again, of course, on the top of the wave 1. And in that case scenario, you will get, of course, here, of course, you can set up your own settings for a fib time for a wave 2, for example. The most important fib time for a wave 2 are the 0.618 and the 1-to-1 fib time. Now, the most common, of course, is the 0.618, where you might see, of course, a wave 2 might finish so much close to this fib time. Sometimes your wave 2 is very sharp and very fast, such a zigzag like this, and it can hit sometimes, of course, the 0.38 fib level. This is a very also possible for a wave 2 in a zigzag, very fast zigzag, and then moving towards the upside. So, in case you want to measure a wave 2, all what you have to do, of course, to take the fib time starting from that point here and just double click, of course, on the top here to get your 0.618 and your 0.38. Whatever your wave 2 is it a flat, is it a zigzag, or something as an expanding flat, or yeah, so those are the most common, of course, for a wave 2. Whatever you get as a shape, you would like, of course, to finish in between this fib time. Now, of course, a wave 2 can range even higher onto the 1.618, but it is very rare. And higher than this time, fib time, can start to be an invalidation for that impulse as a 1-2. Now, this was for the 1-2. Now, after you finish a wave 2, you would like to have an estimation for the time for your wave 3. For your wave 3, you have, of course, several ways. You can measure it based on your wave 1, which is much more preferable, or you can measure it on your wave 2. But it is not very recommended to use the wave 2 time to measure your wave 3, because it is always better to measure the impulsive wave based on an impulsive wave as well. Therefore, if you take now the fib time based on this wave 1, So we start from the 1 and then we click on the 1. And because we have started our wave 3 from the wave 2 here, then you have to put the extension, of course, where your wave 2 has exactly finished. Because this is, of course, the start of your wave 3. And in that case scenario, if I choose here a wave 3 over wave 1, you will get exactly the required Fib-Time, which are the most common, starting from the 1-to-1 to 1.618, which is the most common, and it can even go higher to 2.618 as well. Now, of course, the 1-to-1 is very likely, same as for the 1.618. Those are the Fib times that you would like to finish your wave 3 in between. Very simple. So all what you have to do is to start your Fib time from, of course, your wave 1, where it has started, and until the top of your wave 1, until the start, of course, of your wave 3, because you are measuring this wave 3. And of course, next you would like to measure your wave 4. Now, your wave 4 is, of course, as well, it can be taken based on your wave 2. Why? Because your wave 4 is a correction and your wave 2 also is a correction. So somehow those are always related to each other, while the 1 and the 3 are also related to each other. The same as well for your wave 5. It might be much more related to your wave 3 and to your wave 1, where all the impulsive waves in your impulse should be, of course, related to each other, while the corrective waves are, of course, related to each other. So if we start now, of course, to measure our wave 4, we would like to start by choosing, of course, the Fib time, starting this time from your wave 2. Where your wave 2 has started, it has started, of course, from the top of your wave 1, and it has finished on the bottom here, where we have finished, of course, a wave 2. Now, where your wave 4 has started, it has started, of course, from the top of your wave 3. Therefore, the extension should be given to your wave 3 exactly like this. Now, if you open here, of course, I have already my settings set up for our wave 4 over wave 2, which is the most preferable one. And you will see that your wave 4 would be, would like to finish, of course, at 1-to-1 Fib time, given from your wave 2 here to the start of your wave 4. And most of the time, of course, which is the minimum requirement, I would say, because it is the most common that a wave 4 take at least the same time of your wave 2, or much more likely even higher. It means sometimes it can range until the two times of your wave 2. So that is very possible that you get, for example, a longer wave 2, and that happens much more often with a triangle, because a triangle can range much more longer in time. It can reach so far the Fib time 2 of your wave 2. And that's why, of course, this is very required when you have a triangle here, that it might range much longer in time. And of course, after finishing your wave 4 here measurement, you would like to measure your wave 5. Your wave 5, of course, is measured based on your wave 1 or on your wave 3, because they are the impulsive one. So as you can see, if you take here the wave 1, starting from the wave 1 start, and of course to the top of your wave 1, and you have to put the extension where your wave 5 has started. Of course, it has started from the bottom here of the wave 4, and you can see that the minimum requirement of a wave 5 is 0.618. Let me just check again. So wave 5 over wave 1, yes, exactly. The minimum requirement is 0.618. The most common is 1-to-1, which is the same price normally and time taken from your wave 1 for your wave 4 that you might have, of course, here for your wave 5. Okay, so these are the things, guys. This is how you measure the Fib time for an impulse, and you would like, of course, to measure each one based on the corrective or on the impulsive previous wave. Now, if we move a little bit here to a corrective wave like the ABC, it is the same concept. How you apply the Fib-Time, of course, on an impulse, but of course simply with different time. So, for example, if you have a zigzag here with an impulse towards the downside, and you are looking for a wave B, of course, as a corrective. And in that case scenario, if you take your Fib-Time again, starting from your wave A, and of course you click on your wave A, where your wave B has started is exactly as well on the wave A. Therefore, you have to click a third time there, and you have to search for a Fib-Time for a wave B in a zigzag. And here we go. You get, because a zigzag is a very fast corrective wave, your wave B might be very short and very fast as well, reaching the 0.38 Fib level sometimes, of course, which is also much more common for the 0.618 or in between, to finish directly a zigzag and continue towards the downside. Very, very simple. Now, for your wave C, of course, you would like to have the same. If your wave C have to be measured, you have to measure it, of course, based on your wave A, where you start your wave A, and where you start, of course, based on the start of your wave C, which is the top of your wave B here. And if we go to our setup and we say, okay, we want to have a wave C for a zigzag, which is based always on your wave A, sorry, and you will get exactly the 1-to-1 Fib-Time, because a zigzag is always the same measurement in price and sometimes in time as well. You might want to see, of course, the same time for the wave C as the same for the wave A. And of course, sometimes it can range between the 0.618 and even it can go longer with a 1.618, but that might be for an extended wave C in this scenario, where sometimes you get an extended wave C for higher or lower prices than your wave A. So that was for the tutorial for the Fib-Time based on Elliott wave analysis, of course, and theory, and how you apply it on those Elliott wave patterns as well. So I hope that this was helpful. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your comments and likes. See you in the next one. Bye bye.